Raise your hand if you've spent hours trying to memorize vocabulary lists just to forget the words the next day. My hand is also raised. I used to think that writing out long lists of words was an effective way to learn a language. A few years ago, I realized I had been learning languages so ineffectively, so inefficiently this whole time. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the #1 tip, literally the one thing that you should know about learning any language that you can implement today to completely change the way you learn languages. I'm not going to gatekeep or keep you hanging. It's called sentence mining. Or as I've shared in a lot of my other videos, like this one, and this one, learning languages in context, chunking, or learning from phrases. And I'm going to show you exactly how I use sentence mining in my language learning. And please stay to the end because I have an interesting way that you can reverse this method and have it work as well. Let's begin with what is sentence mining. It's as simple as this. Instead of memorizing isolated words, you learn words in context of phrases or full sentences. And the best way to learn this is from content that you're already consuming. This could be shows you're watching, movies, people you're talking to, books you're reading, articles you're reading, social media, anything that you can find in this language you can use to harvest or mine sentences from to learn. Here is the magic formula. Find sentences where you know every word except one or two. I do this mostly from books, so I like to read books that are a bit of a higher level than my actual level. So I'll just buy books in Hungarian, Korean, or Japanese that are things I'm interested in. These books are pretty good because as I read, I'll be like, I can kind of understand the whole sentence, but there's this one word I don't know. And if I learn this word in the context of its full sentence, if I mine and harvest this sentence, I'm going to remember that word a lot faster because I have some kind of emotional connection, as I like to call it, with the word. And then I can also naturally learn sentence structure or absorb new grammar instead of just learning the word randomly on its own somewhere. The more you read or learn or expose yourself to a certain topic or a theme, the more these words are going to pop up. I can say with some confidence that I can have a pretty good conversation about mesterséges intelligencia, which is artificial intelligence in Hungarian. This is because I love reading about tech, but I'm good at this specific topic, and I've learned a lot of words related to this through the method of sentence mining. But here's the great thing. You can do sentence mining at any level for any language. This is something you can implement today. If you're a beginner, you can start with something simple, like children's books. If you're intermediate, you can watch TV, shows with subtitles, you can read blog posts, you can browse social media in that language. Something I like to do is just go to a search engine and type in any word that I know that I'm interested in, see what pops up. And if you're advanced, you can listen to native podcasts in the language, and then literature, books, etc. Then YouTube videos are a great way to learn from comprehensible input. Generally, YouTube videos, things like vlogs, travel vlogs, a topic that somebody's talking about that you're interested in. You can get a transcript for these or subtitles, and you can also use tools like Y2Doc to import the video and get a summary of it. I love Y2Doc because it also supports multiple languages. Here's an example where I've actually taken one of my videos, I edited the text a little bit, and I translated it to Spanish. Now, since I love talking about languages in my videos, I can now learn a bit more in Spanish because I can sentence mine from my own video but in Spanish. Y2Doc lets you extract text from videos and create summaries, presentations, posters, and more. Obviously, you can do this with any video that you find on YouTube. You just import it into Y2Doc and then it will summarize it in a document for you. You can also choose multiple output methods. You can create a poster, a presentation, you can get quizzes, a slide deck with key points. So this is really good if you're learning languages or studying for anything academic in general. What's awesome is Y2Doc can handle videos up to 4 hours long. It generates in-depth output up to 10,000 words per document, so you won't miss any key details of a summary. The output is consistent and structured, so it's really easy to read or summarize anything. You can check out Y2Doc for yourself. Try it for free using the link in the description below. Let me show you my sentence mining with Hungarian. This one I'm going to do through listening. So I listen to Hungarian radio, and then I recorded it and got it transcribed. And then I use that transcription to find new words. This is everything from the radio show. I can get the full piece, like, it's amazing. And then, here's the best part. I click on translate and I say I want to translate it to English. I have the whole piece that I recorded. If I just go to transcript, I can get it line by line and I can toggle between Hungarian or English. It also saves the audio. I can switch back to the Hungarian. Nem a gépekkel kell versenyezni. This is a new word to me, but now I know that it means to compete, because nem, like not, gépekkel is with machines, kell is should. So not with machines should compete. So now I've just learned a new word. And you've seen me learn a new word live. And because machines will never merta gépek, because machines, wow. Tulajdonságaiban. Let's listen. What? What I'm gonna do is just check the translation. Properties. Here we go. Qualities, human qualities. So that's the properties. Tulajdonságaiban. Tulajdonságaiban. Well, I know that's a suffix. Maybe, there we go, a property singular would be tulajdonság. Tulajdonság. This is helping me learn new vocabulary and grammar at the same time. And then kell is like we should, and then fejleszteni, I think, is to develop or improve, which we have over here. And the reason I remember fejleszteni is because during my italki lesson a while ago, I was talking about AI, and we were talking about like developing an app, developing AI, something like that. And the word that came up the whole time was fejleszteni, which is to develop.
Fejlesztő is developer, fejlesztő.
Okay, so develop. Oh, so AI tools are developing fluidly? Continually.
Folytatni.
Okay, so the tools are developing continuously, and in the future, it And the reason I love reading about the same topics and why I am so freaking obsessed with the topic of AI in Hungarian is that the same words are gonna keep popping up. Like whoopsie. Shh. The news started, okay. Same words are gonna keep popping up. Like, of course, somebody's gonna talk about improving or developing when we're talking about tech or AI. I am bound to encounter the word fejleszteni or tulajdonság so many times when I'm listening and reading about the same topics. And this is basically how I learn Hungarian. I'm not putting any of this into like a flashcard deck. I'm just surrounding myself and making sure I get interesting content that I like in context. It is so by coincidence, I'm not even kidding, that I was listening to live radio and they were talking about mesterséges intelligencia. So AI is everywhere these days, and it's everywhere on Hungarian radio too, apparently. And now for Korean, here's a bit of a different example. There is this really great textbook. Where is it? This one, Korean Vocabulary for Foreigners. Love the title. And you learn vocabulary basically through example sentences. This is an awesome book. I bought it maybe 2 years ago in Korea in Kyobo Books, and I haven't finished it yet, but this is a really, really good method for learning a language because you have so many example sentences which really show you how the word is used in different contexts. So if you are learning Korean, I highly recommend this book. I will also link to it where you can buy it on Amazon. And yes, you can create a sentence mining content dump. A lot of people do this on Notion, a spreadsheet. I'm really a pen and paper type of girl, so I put it in my notebooks. Here I've also done sentence mining from my French lessons. We were learning the conditionnel passé, which I hate. It is the auxiliaire avec le participe passé. Par exemple, il aurait aimé partir en vacances, elle aurait partagé quelque chose, etc., etc. So a lot of what are in my language learning notes from lessons are just full sentences. Then here's my trusty dusty Hungarian notebook, which came with me to Hungary. And a lot of what I write down here is sentences from my language exchange chats with people on language exchange apps. And basically here I have entire sentences, just chunks of what this person has been saying to me. This page is a wonderful example because you can very clearly see where I have highlighted the words that I don't know. This is from my friend Arpi. Hello Arpi, if you are watching. Szia, hogy vagy? And here I can learn the words in context. For example, tópart is a lakeside. Jó pihenést a tóparton. Like I had a great rest, I chilled, it was nice to chill at the lakeside. But now in context of that sentence, I remember, tópart is the lakeside, etc. In my last Hungarian lesson, we were talking about entrepreneurship and what is important to be a good entrepreneur. And my tutor asked me, well, what's the first thing a good entrepreneur needs? And I was like, well, they need an idea. I don't know how to say idea. Idea is ötlet. And you can see in my example here, I didn't just write ötlet, idea. I mind the sentence, I love saying that. And I wrote, fontos, hogy legyen egy jó ötlet. It's important to have a good idea. And now I know jó ötlet is a good idea, and that's how I'm gonna remember it. Over here, my Japanese notebook from a few years ago. This is mostly for learning grammar. I would write the full sentence that has the grammar explanation in green over here, and then go into detail about any new words. You can see at times I even write the full sentence out quite a few times just to drill it in. Many people don't like doing this. I just really enjoy the feeling of writing Japanese by hand as well. You can come up with excuses later, but for now, please send them to me. I do, however, write down single words, but this is from a whole sentence. I'll write down the sentence first, and then the 1 or 2 or 3 words that I don't know in the sentence, they will go here. Here, even without any English, this is just learning new words and grammar entirely from full sentences. Lastly, here are some common mistakes with sentence mining and how to avoid them. The first mistake is mining sentences with too many unknowns in them. If there's a ton of words you don't know, you don't even know if maybe it's a grammar structure or a conjugation or a tense or a particle that you're actually thinking is a word, but it's a form of grammar. So really try and find stuff just at or above your level, and it should be sentences that have 1, maximum 2 words that you don't know. Try and start and be strict with the 1 unknown word only rule. Number 2, people fall into this trap. I hear it a lot in my language coaching. Oh, the content is so boring. Someone said the other day, I was watching a TV show in my target language and I just couldn't watch it. It was so boring. That's fine. Stop watching it. Stop reading that boring book. I don't like kids' books. I refuse to read kids' stories to learn a language. Some people love it. Start with content that you're interested in. Your hobbies, if you like the culture, music, lyrics. Then mistake number 3, and I'm so guilty of this, is not reviewing regularly. That's why I like to have a small, handy notebook that I can carry around with me. It's super light, and I bring it with me everywhere. If I'm going to a coffee shop, if I know I'm going to be waiting at the doctor's office, whatever. And every now and then, I'll page through it and be like, oh, haha, yeah, that's a word I forgot. Let's read it again. I don't really spend time sitting at my desk and reviewing my notes, because I already feel like I make a strong connection with it when I hear it, so in a lesson or a movie or talking to a friend, and when I use it. Active recall, that is a topic for a whole other day. If you want a video about that, let me know. But try your best to schedule in some form of reviewing or using these words and sentences. And then number 4 is ignoring audio or pronunciation. This is especially important if you're a beginner. It is hard to know what accurate pronunciation is if you don't have an example of what it sounds like. However, if you're more upper intermediate advanced, you probably don't need audio if you're just reading articles and stuff, if you already know how to speak confidently. So just be sure to start out with something where you can hear it as well. And lastly, an interesting tip for you is reverse mining. And this is pretty much how I learned about research in design in Hungarian. So research being kutatás. I just typed that into Google, and then I found some website that has articles about user research and tech, And now I'm never gonna forget the word kutotash because I see it everywhere. And I'm pretty sure I said like this exact example in a few videos. So that's how effective it was for me. Then there are so many other things I can say. Grammar mining, graded sentences, themed mining, how to build up on sentences, so much more. So if you do want a second, more in-depth video about this topic, please leave a comment below. Here's a little challenge for you. Try mining 5 sentences this week. Or try finding 5 words that you want to learn and then go look for sentences with those. So if this video changed how you think about learning vocabulary, please subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was useful, and I'll see you in the next video.